Aloha mai kako, a Komomati curtain call, a program of reviews, previews, interviews, and features of and or with the great art and artists on Maui and beyond. I'm Paul James Brown. Pro Arts Playhouse and KAOI Radio Group are presenting the Stovetop Dressing of a Christmas Carol. Clocking in at under 45 minutes, this production, based on Dickens' book, hardly gives the audience time to get settled, and Tiny Tim, Annika Matfeld, making an auspicious theatrical debut, is, quote, God blessing everyone, unquote. The Old Vic production is an hour and 3/4. The Goodman in Chicago is 2.5 hours with an intermission, and the current Broadway production is an hour and 35 minutes with no intermission. So what, you ask, is missing in this production? I cannot tell you. I tried to go over the story in my head to try to figure it out, but it's all there. The Christmases past, present, and yet to be. The great lines, quote, if they would rather die, they had better do it and decrease the surplus population, unquote. Have they no refuge or resource? Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses? And one of my favorites said to his nephew, Fred, played by the redoubtable Shane Borg, Merry Christmas, what right have we to be merry? What reason have you to be merry? You're poor enough. And this one to Bob Cratchit, Ryan Sherwood, quote, a poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December, but I suppose you must have the whole day. Be here all the earlier next morning. And of course, bah humbug. It's just a very trimmed down version of the tale we all know so well. In fact, the main character's name is synonymous with parsimony and curmudgeonliness. When we want to call someone cheap, we invoke the name of Scrooge. Mr. Tawa has actually added characters not normally in the show, such as the cook, Gina Duncan, playing many parts, Ms. Wadlegger's charwoman, and a manservant without adding to the running time. The ubiquitous Dale Button, fresh from his frightening performance as the captain in Pro Art's remarkable production of Bent, is Ebenezer Scrooge, who, when we first meet him, is quite matter-of-fact and rather annoyed at being distracted. But as the spirits reveal his life to him, he becomes alarmed and has a major meltdown. His transformation from curmudgeon to philanthropist is something to behold. Kelly Wadlegger, who made her Maui stage debut in last spring's Maui on Stage production of She Kills Monsters, about her Maui premiere, I said, quote, her dark elf Calliope handled the staff like a ninja and was there for the party all the way. Her Kelly, the real person in the game, demonstrated a fine range she possesses. She plays Mrs. Cratchit and Scrooge's charwoman. There is a sparkle in her eye and the delivery that showed her love for her family and her husband Bob. She exuded the warmth of the character, and her disdain for Mr. Scrooge was palpable without being overbearing. It was a nicely nuanced performance. Mr. Sherwood, we learn from the program, hasn't acted in 20 years. His Bob Cratchit is warm, kind, and forgiving. He loves his family and would do anything for them, especially Tiny Tim. I hope he doesn't wait another 20 years to tread the boards again. He is a welcome new member to the Maui acting stable. As young Ebenezer and nephew Fred, Shane Borg continues a string of roles that threatens to make him the heir to Mr. Button's role as Mr. Ubiquitous. His nephew Fred is indefatigable, even in the face of his uncle's rude behavior, and his young Ebenezer is thoroughly charming, as is Joanna Williams as his sweetheart, whom he inexplicably rejects. Annika Matfield plays Tiny Tim, Fan, Scrooge's sister, and Hunger. This is the first play outside of little shows she has put on for family and friends, and it portends well for this young rising star. The spirits, Jacob Marley, Eric Strand, past Lillian Mills, present John Williams, play their roles powerfully and with depth of purpose. Mr. Strand, who hasn't been seen since his debut in the outstanding 2020 production of A Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, is a larger-than-life Jacob Marley, who gives Scrooge a preview of coming attractions. Quote, I am here tonight to warn you that you have yet a chance and hope of escaping my fate, a chance and hope of my procuring, Ebenezer, unquote. Ms. Mills, who is making her Pro Arts debut with adults, has performed on Oahu and here in many youth productions. Her past spirit is delightful, and she totally beguiles not only Scrooge, but the audience as well. Mr. Williams' take on the present ghost is direct and clear. He is a no-nonsense ghost who shows Scrooge what people really think of him, and it is key to the successful transformation of Scrooge. And they eliminated the usual specter with the hood of yet to be and substituted thunder and lightning. A brilliant choice. One of the most adorable scenes in the play takes place between Lincoln Sherwood as young Scrooge and Miss Matfield as Fan, his sister. The other scene I loved was when Ms. Duncan and Ms. Wadlegger celebrate the demise of their boss by looting the place. They are having such a good time enjoying their booty. The entire cast does yeoman work and brings this attenuated version of the traditional tale to 21st century life. Mr. Tawa gets the credit for this production, which is thoroughly enjoyable from start to finish. There is no set designer credited in the program, but the video projections by Maui's Renaissance woman, Allie Shore, and playwright, musician, and New York City tour guide, James Kimo Nevius, are beyond brilliant. They are the major reason, I believe, for the show's brevity. They allow for immediate set changes. Also, the smoke explosions that herald and reveal the spirits are truly magical and add to the flavor of this piece. Whoever thought of the curtain over Scrooge's bed is a genius. It's not easy to costume a play set in 19th century London on Maui, but Kathleen Gregory, who, if Mr. Borg is the heir to Mr. Button's ubiquity, then Ms. Gregory is the heir to the Edith Head of Maui, Kathleen Schulz's mantle, gave us an authentic look to this show. I especially like Mr. Williams' Inverness cape, reminiscent of Sherlock Holmes, and his gorgeous ghost outfit. Also, Mr. Borg's waistcoat and jacket worked very well. All in all, a marvelous-looking vintage show with lots of changes. Bravo, Ms. Gregory. Carol and Maggie Lloyd's lighting design added significantly to the effectiveness of this show. The specials she had upstage behind the translucent screen enhanced the appearance and supernaturalness of the spirits and the feel of Scrooge's journey. A Christmas Carol is a holiday staple like the Nutcracker, Seeing It's a Wonderful Life, or decorating your tree. You have just 4 more chances to take in this holiday tradition. Introduce your kids to it if they haven't already had the experience, and if they have, they've never seen it like this production. A Christmas Carol plays Thursday to Saturday at 7 and Sunday at 2. There is a festive holiday carol sing directed by a different Maui musical star prior to each show. Be sure to get there for that. It will get you in the holiday spirit. Go to www.proartsmaui.com for tickets. This is what you need for the holiday. Don't miss it. Well, that's Curtain Call for this week. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Paul James Brown. Ahui ho and Meli Kalikimaka.